you've a point there, lassie. They've always made sure to keep the main gate free of frost, even in the dead of winter.
So, what are we supposed to do? There's an orb in there we need to get to.
Well, if we can't go in through the front door, we'll just have to head round the back.
So it seems I've learned two things. It probably wouldn't get as hot, at least not as quickly, if I... Let me start again. So using OBS and then also streaming with OBS got the temperature to rise very quickly, even though OBS only streamed at 1080p. Using the built-in NVIDIA thing to stream at 1080p, I did 3 hours, no problem. But also the temperature inside was a lot lower. I had the fan on and everything, so I think it just didn't get to 81. But now, not only am I streaming at 1440p ultra-wide, I'm also streaming without the fan on, temperature moderate. It's not like it's cold as it was yesterday, and within an hour it got to where the fans were like blasting. So all I've done now is turn on the 20% front fan. That's all I've done. So right now it's at 25%. I haven't messed with MSI, I haven't messed with EVGA, I haven't messed with anything. That's all I've done. So I'm gonna see if it kicks on again and go from there. And I'm gonna leave the mic on, so hopefully you can hear. This is what it sounds like when the front fan's at the 20% thing. So let me know if you can hear anything. This is just, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. The main reason I don't want to use MSI is because just while it was doing the little pause, whatever, before I turned the stream back on, I turned on MSI and it shot up to 75%, and the 75% was almost as loud as the 100%. Like, it was that loud. Whereas before, it only got up to 60 or whatever, so I think it was trying to bring the temperature down. But I think MSI has the potential to, yes, it won't go to 100, it won't be as loud as 100, but it'll get close. It'll continue to get closer and closer and closer while keeping the temperature below a certain point. Let me go this way first, if that makes any sense. You should be able to hear like a low humming. Yeah, it'll monitor the temperature for sure. But you have to also remember, MSI Afterburner is going to set it to whatever it thinks the default should be for an MSI card or an NVIDIA card. And the issue is this graphic card only has one fan. Usually those EVGA cards, like the one you have, has 2 fans, some of them have 3 fans. Very rarely do you see them with 1 fan. And the other issue I have is if it's constantly running faster and faster, the fan's going to die eventually. And at the rate that we play Final Fantasy and everything else, it's going to die quickly. And by quickly, I mean like within like a year or two, not like it's gonna die within a few months. It's gonna die within a year or two. So I can't have it just blitz in whenever. So it's kind of like this balance you have to play.
What's going on? The whole city's been turned to ice.
It's just like what happened to the gates. This doesn't seem natural at all.
But you also need to remember, this is Alien who we're talking about. I don't think they're gonna have the best fans for anything, because it's not like I'm going out and buying like an MSI card. And MSI usually have the big ass heat sinks on their graphics cards too. If maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to sell this 2080 Ti that's in here, maybe for a moderately cheaper price, and then just buy an EVGA MSI card and stick it in there. But again, I don't know. Just ideas.
This may be the Crystal Kingdom, but it shouldn't be frozen solid, cold winter or no. We'd better take a look around.
The only reason why I don't want to have it running at 75% all the time, or close to 100% all the time, is because I feel eventually it's going to get to the point where the fans are going to die. And at that point, I can't sell the card because the fans are dead. I have to get a replacement from Alienware. You know. At least that's just my opinion. Okay, I think there's a miscommunication between... It's not sitting at 12% right now. Right now the fan's probably sitting at 30%, 40%, something like that. That's fine. But if I use the MSI model, it's going to clock up to 70%, 75%, because I'm streaming. So if I'm just playing regularly, maybe it wouldn't be 75, maybe it'd be like 50%, right? 50% isn't that loud, but it's louder than the 30% it would be if I were not using MSI or anything. The justification I'm using for both is that yes, it's not as loud, but it's hotter. But the loudness is the durability of the fan. The louder it gets, that means the faster the fans are spinning. The faster the fans are spinning, the less cycles each of the fans, or it's just one fan, the less cycle the fan has. So if, for example, the fan is rated for, it sounds stupid, but if the fan is rated for 1 billion cycles, I'm gonna hit that billion cycles a lot faster, significantly faster, exponentially faster if I'm going at 100% versus if I'm going at 12%, right? Okay. So if under load the fans are at 30, 40% versus 70, 75%, that's still a curve change. Like, it's going to hit that limit to where the fans eventually have issues or wear and tear because of the bearings, if that makes sense. It's not gonna cook the system because it's, how do I explain it? So it hits 81. If it stays at 81 degrees for longer than 5 seconds, the fans kick up to 100% on default. That is the issue. I don't like that sound. I could put the desktop underneath like the table or something and then not give a fuck, because then it gets loud. It would be different if the GPU was getting to 90 degrees with 100% spinning. That's cooking it. If it got to 100 degrees, that's cooking it. But at 100 degrees, it would thermal throttle, it would shut off, I would get a blue screen. That's not happening. There are people that will like overclock their GPU to the point and like set the fan curve to be like, okay, never get to 80 degrees. That's what the MSI stuff is for. If you are overclocking, that's what that default or that custom clock for the fans is for. So you set it to the default, and then you set your temperature to never get above 80 degrees, but then you set your overclock to like 15% extra power, 15% extra clock speed. That's what that's for. The MSI Afterburner is for overclocking. Yeah, I agree. It's a design flaw, and it doesn't help that I'm also running 3440 by 1080p, not 1080p, 1440p. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Hey, listen!
Yeah, the fan right now is just the front fan. I've just increased the front fan speed to 25%. So if you're not hearing anything, then no one on the stream is going to hear anything because the microphone is set to 100. So if you don't hear it, then you won't hear it on stream. But that's all. I've just increased the amount of air going into the system.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
this
gave me a
one isn't
fright.
as frustrating as the
I hadn't
100%.
expected to see
This is
travelers
just
in town.
the front fan. I can live with the front fan. That's why I did 20% instead of the... Sorry. That's why I did the 40% instead of the 20% first. I did the 40% to see what's the maximum I can live with, preventing it from clocking to 100% on the GPU, and then what's the minimum that it will handle without clocking to 100.
Finally, someone who hasn't been turned into a block of ice.
Like, what's the
Can you
loudest I
tell
can
us what
stand
happened here?
without messing with the curve? But you're right, if all else fails, just use MSI. But that 75% was almost as loud as the 100%.
Well, it all began 3 months ago. It was a bright, sunny day, just like any other, when suddenly a strange shadow filled the sky.
Yeah, I don't know
It
what
was
I'm
a
gonna
witch.
do. I think the best thing to do would be to like sell the 2080 Ti that's in there right now.
My
Sell it for maybe like
goodness.
$100
That
cheaper
sounds like
or something.
from a fairy tale.
It should still sell for like at least $900 or $1,000, because if you hooked it up to a regular screen, if it was just like a regular 1080p monitor and you're just streaming at 1080p, or even if it was a 1440p monitor, non-ultra wide, I mean, it's never going to hit that 100%.
Just so, she chanted an ancient incantation, and just like that, the town was engulfed in a ferocious snowstorm. The wind took my breath clean away, and before I knew it, I had fainted. And when I awoke, all was frozen. I was the only one spared.
She must be a pretty powerful witch to freeze this whole city with a single spell. I wish I could help, but all this ice is more than my magic can melt.
By the way, Missy, That symbol in your shawl, is that not...
Oh, forgive me. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? I am Frisabel, Queen of Sniffelheim.
You're the queen? So, does that mean the old king is...
I'm afraid so. My father passed away last year. Oh, I've only been in charge these few months, and just look at my kingdom. Whatever am I going to do?
It looks like Sniffelheim's in a bit of a sticky situation. I suppose now isn't a good time to ask about the orb.
An orb? What kind of orb?
Why, the big blue ball that's been handed down in your family for generations, lassie. The truth be told, we need to borrow it.
Oh, of course. You would be welcome to borrow it, but I'm afraid it is locked up tight inside the castle, which is locked up tight inside the ice.
Well, that's just perfect. So if we don't find a way to melt that ice, we'll never get our hands on the orb. Maybe if we got rid of that wicked witch, it might break her spell.
I thought just the same thing. Why, only a few days ago, a band of soldiers from a faraway land came here to investigate what was happening. I sent them out to try and find the witch and fight her, but I haven't seen them since.
Well,
But I think we can both agree,
them out in the cold.
obviously streaming
Let's
at
go and give
maximum
those soldiers a hand and
3440
bring
by
spring back to
1440p resolution,
Sniffelheim, shall
playing
we?
at that same resolution, all of that stuff is what is contributing to the heat. And then last night, playing Final Fantasy and everything, it didn't ever do that, so I guess we'll find out tonight, because all I'm gonna have is just the 20% fan speed. And then if that doesn't work, and we've tried everything else, and we've crossed everything else off the list, then it's just gonna be MSI. It's just gonna be what it has to be.
Oh, thank you, thank you. The Wicked Witch dwells in the Hexwood. Be very, very wary. For the witch does not live in the woods alone. She keeps a fierce, magical beast to guard against intruders.
Aye, we'll be sure to keep an eye out. Thanks for the warning.
There are
lassie.
cards that have just
Come
one
on, boys
fan.
and girls.
But like out of
Over
the
to the Hexwood.
29 different cards, only like 6 or 7 of them are built with one fan. Even the NVIDIA, like the NVIDIA Founders Edition that NVIDIA makes themselves, has 2 fans on it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a little suspicious, honestly, that she knows so much about this witch. Camera lingered a little too long on her. But I think I've decided, because I'm not using a regular monitor, I'm not using a regular resolution, I have to kind of deal with a little bit of noise anyway. I think that's what I've just ultimately decided. I have to deal with more fans or more fan speed. That's just kind of what you have to kind of give up when you're pushing it to the absolute, you know. Because it would be one thing if I was using like a regular 2560 by 1440p monitor, but that's not what I'm doing, is it? So, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna move my thing into the freezer. I keep it pretty cold in the house as it is. But if the 20% fan speed works, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because honestly, those front fans have stayed at 12%. Like, they've stayed at 12%. And I think there's a miscommunication because I think you're assuming the 12% fans are the graphics card fans. No, the graphics card fans stay at 18%. It's the front desktop fan, which is stupid. Why it stays at 12%, I have no idea, but it just stays at 12%. It's ridiculous. I don't think you need to necessarily watch it. If I'm being completely honest, I really don't think... I think the 20% fan speed is going to be more than enough for what I'm going to do, like, streaming-wise, and on top of streaming, gaming, like, for extended periods of time. I'll have to stream like Witcher 3 again or whatever or something, but it should be more than enough for what I need. And it's not as loud. Especially if you can't hear it, then it's not that loud. And I used like that's how compulsive I am, I guess, over compulsive, just whatever you want to call it. OCD. I used a decibel meter. And without the fan, like the fan at 12% was getting 33 to 36 decibels, and the fan at 20% was getting 34 to 37. So it went up like 1.5 decibels. It's not that big of a deal. This is why I don't go to like Micro Center and all these places for like service, because it's gonna be like, have you tested this? Have you tested that? I was like, I've already thought like 10 steps ahead and tested the things I needed to test to see what I could live with. So when I come to you and I'm like, replace it, trust me, I've tried everything else before I came to you and said, replace it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like overly complacent. I know I can be wrong. But if I'm coming to you and I'm telling you this is the issue, and you're giving me a proposed solution which I know I've already tried, and that's your best solution, then I'm just going to tell you to replace it.
Did I do all right?
Well, that was easy.
It's funny, you like slip and slide when you try to run on the ice. I think if anything, if it gets too annoying, I'll crank the front fat up to the 30% mark, or 32%, that I know for sure isn't going to ever have the GPU get to 100%, and then I'm just going to move the fan lower or something, or underneath the table or something. There's a solution somewhere, it's just trial and error to figure out what is the best solution. Because I don't really want to take it to Maker Center for them to like just tell me, oh, you're gaming too hard. Like, no shit. You're really sweet. I hope it works. It's one of those things I was saying yesterday. It should just, one thing I feel like I have some control should just work. I don't know. And so far it's only done it the one time, so. I'm sure if I did it stream at 1440p, and I just, you know, I wouldn't even need to turn on the fan, but it's good to know that it's not defective, at least not yet. I think it's interesting you can hear the controller presses, but you can't hear the fan. It's interesting.
Thank goodness. Feel better than ever.
I guess if you turn it up to max, you can hear it, but yeah, I think that's the only time you can hear it. Hang on. I'm guessing now you can't hear it at all, right? Right, I know. If I turn the sensitivity down, you can't hear it at all. But I just have to speak louder, not louder per se, just speak audibly. I think that's the trade-off between the game sound and the sensitivity of the mic. But I can fix that.
Wonderful.
Well, that was easy.
think it's safe to say, like, no one's going to care if I'm streaming at 1080p or 1440p. At least I know with Twitch, there is no 1440p stream.
Did I do all right?
YouTube's the only one that has 1440, and if I'm going to do that with YouTube, I'm just going to use the recording. Like, I'm just going to record videos at 1440. I'm not going to stream at 1440. Platinum protection. Where's the platinum swords though? Again, the whole point of this, streaming to YouTube at 1440p, all of that, is to see the maximum I can push the system, and then the minimum setting I can have for the fans without it doing the loudness thing. Because if you also remember, the room isn't particularly cold right now. The door is somewhat ajar. It's not entirely closed. It's just to see the maximum I can push the system and the least comfortable I can be. Or the most comfortable. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Oh, the video is constantly reloading for you? Like, constantly? I didn't know that. I know it's done it twice or 3 times because I've had to change the settings, but it should have fired it back into the YouTube pipeline. Big open space. It's kind of odd.
You will not keep me from the witch beast. Yield! The Darkspawn here? How could I be so foolish?
Well, this could end really badly. I don't think I've even chipped away at his hit points yet. Oh, never mind.
You have served your mistress well, but your day is done. Now it is your turn, Darkspawn. You will not escape me this time! What is the meaning of this?
What a pleasure to finally meet you, Sir Hendrik.
Is this your doing?
Nothing personal, my pretty, but I promised the one who released me that I'd freeze you in your tracks. What a lovely little trinket. It's just like his. We shall make such a captivating couple. Matching necklaces and all.
What?
More questions. You so-called heroes are nothing but talk. It's time to put you two on ice forever.
Not if I have anything to do with it! Are you all right?
Well now, Sir Hendrik. You'll be in charge of this party of foreign soldiers we heard about. The ones Queen Frizabel sent. Leaving so soon? Sure you don't want to round us up and throw us in jail?
Oh, I will. All in good time.
He's freezing cold. That spell must have really taken its toll. We passed a hut on the way here. Let's carry him there.
Ah, so you are finally awake. Are you feeling better, friend? Good, good. You have your companions to thank for that. Such caring comrades are a rare gift. But forgive me, I have not introduced myself. I am Snorri, scholar of the arcane arts. I came here to investigate the origins of the Wicked Witch who froze Sniffelheim solid. It was luck, and luck alone, that caused me to be away from the city when she first appeared, or I too would have been turned into an icy statue. Your friends tell me the Queen has asked you to eliminate the sorceress. If it will help you in your quest, I will be happy to share what I have learned. The witch's name is Kristalinda. Long ago, in the Age of Heroes, a mighty mage imprisoned her within the pages of an enchanted grimoire. The book was hidden away safely in the Royal Library, an ancient archive built by the founders of Sniffelheim to house the combined knowledge of all humankind. Having learned this, I tried to go and see the book for myself. Alas, the library was swarming with monsters, and I was forced to retreat.
about, are you? Thank goodness for that.
Indeed. You are well on the way to recovery thanks to your young friend here. It is plain to see that Veronica cares for you very deeply.
Put a sock in it, Snorri.
There is no need to
gosh.
be embarrassed, my dear. Anyway, your timing is perfect. I had just finished telling your friend all I had learned about the witch.
I'll get straight to the point then. We're taking Snorri here back to the library so he can look for clues on how to beat...
It is high on a plateau to the east of here, but we must make our way around to the south before we can reach it. Shall we?
Can we take a moment to appreciate just how adorable Serena looks? Can we please just... She's like a grown-up Madeline. I'm just getting... It's just... She's so stinking adorable. Talk about in-game characters. Like, she's not real, but she's so stinking cute. I want to pinch her cheeks. How am I supposed to... Oh god, we're all the way over there. Okay. It's a giant bear. No! The salt.
Veronica wins again.
I'll try to get to the campsite. See if I can't craft those shields. What is that? I want to know. Green eye. Where am I supposed to get a green eye from? I doubt he's going to have a green eye. Interesting.
Wonderful.
There's supposed to be something here. Maybe.
May heaven's winds propel thee hence! Let's heat things up!
Need a green eye, not a blue eye. What the hell is that? I don't think I saw that before.
right.
Oh, next to my horse. No. Oh, the dragon slimes.
And don't come back. Oh gosh, find the book that holds the answers. Oh! Whoa. Definitely wasn't expecting that. That was kinda creepy. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Easy peasy.
Oh. Okay, I think I'm going to have to stop here. Because if it's a puzzle, I'm not going to solve it anytime soon. And it looks like there's multiple floors, so I think I'm going to stop here. You know, I've never been too great at solving puzzles. So if you're good at solving puzzles, that fixes everything. That fixes all the things. Now all our bases are covered for the happily ever after in gaming. I can smash things and you can solve things. Yeah. Roadhouse. Oh gosh, the plastic fork. Yes, I'm fully aware. I think I've learned to craft a sword yet. Alright, let's have a look. So that entire time, the temperature sat at 79 degrees Celsius. Didn't go up, didn't go down. Just sat at 79 degrees Celsius. So that was good, I think. I think that was good. But yeah, I will talk to you, text you. I'm going to try to take a nap before you get home.